Right now, somewhere on your body, a hole is opening. Not a wound, a pore. And through it, salt water is about to leave your body on purpose. You've done this millions of times. You barely notice it, but sweating is one of the strangest things your body does, and almost nothing else on Earth does it the way you do. Here's the part that should bother you. Humans have between 2 and 4 million sweat glands. That's more than almost any other mammal on the planet, pound for pound. Dogs can't do this. Cats can't do this. Even our closest relative, the chimpanzee, has a fraction of the sweat glands packed into the same amount of skin. So the question isn't just, why do we sweat? It's, why did evolution give one species this much of it?
The answer starts about 2 million years ago on the plains of East Africa, and it starts with a hunt that shouldn't have worked. Early humans were slow. No claws, no fangs, no speed. A gazelle could outrun us in seconds. A cheetah could catch us in 10. By every normal rule of the animal kingdom, we should have starved. But we had one thing almost nothing else had. We could keep going after everything else had to stop. This is called persistence hunting, and it still exists today among a handful of groups like the San people of the Kalahari. The method is brutally simple. Pick an animal, chase it, not fast, just relentless, in the heat of the day when every other predator is resting in the shade.
The antelope sprints, then has to stop and pant to cool down. Panting only works so well. It's a weak cooling system. The human keeps walking, keeps jogging, doesn't stop. Hour after hour, the gap between resting and overheating closes for the animal. It never closes for the human. Eventually, the antelope collapses from heat stroke. Not from exhaustion, from cooking from the inside in its own body heat. That's not a metaphor. That is what happens. And the entire reason we could do this, the entire reason we could out-endure animals twice as fast as us, comes down to 2 to 4 million tiny glands doing something no fur-covered animal can do efficiently. We stopped being covered in thick hair. We started sweating instead, and it changed everything.
Here's how it actually works, and it's stranger than most people think. Your body runs at almost exactly 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Not because that number is special, because that's the temperature your proteins need to keep their shape. Go much higher, and the proteins that keep your cells running start to physically deform. Around 104 to 106 degrees, that damage becomes serious. Around 107 to 109, it becomes fatal. You are, in a very real sense, walking around every day dangerously close to your own melting point. So your body built a cooling system.
When your internal temperature rises, even slightly, your hypothalamus, the part of your brain acting as a thermostat, sends a signal down through your nervous system to your sweat glands. Not just some of them, all of them. More or less at once. Each gland pulls fluid, mostly water, along with sodium, chloride, and a little urea from your blood plasma. It pushes that fluid up through a coiled duct and out onto your skin. And then something happens that has nothing to do with the wetness itself. The water on your skin absorbs heat from your body. Then it evaporates. And evaporation is a phase change, meaning it requires energy to happen. That energy comes from your skin, from you. Every drop of sweat that evaporates is quite literally carrying heat away from your body and releasing it into the air. You are not cooling down because you got wet. You are cooling down because you got wet, and then that water stopped existing on your skin and became gas. On a hot, dry day, an active adult can produce over a liter of sweat per hour. In extreme heat and extreme exertion, some people have been recorded losing close to 3 liters an hour, which raises an uncomfortable question. If sweating that much cools you down, why can it also kill you? Because sweat only works if it can evaporate. On a humid day, the air is already saturated with water vapor. It has no room to accept more, so your sweat sits on your skin. It doesn't evaporate, it just drips. And you keep producing more, and it keeps not working, and your internal temperature keeps climbing. This is why humid heat is so much more dangerous than dry heat, even at lower temperatures. Your cooling system is still switched on. It's just been disconnected from the thing that makes it work. There's a number for this.
It's called the wet bulb temperature, and scientists believe that once the wet bulb temperature crosses roughly 95 degrees Fahrenheit at high humidity, the human body cannot cool itself no matter what it does, not with rest, not with shade, not even sitting perfectly still in the wind. At that threshold, sweating stops being a survival tool. It becomes a system running at full capacity, doing everything right and still failing, which means the exact mechanism that let your ancestors outrun antelope across the savanna is the same mechanism that under the wrong conditions cannot save you at all.
But here's the part almost nobody thinks about. Sweat isn't just physical. Put someone in a stressful situation, an interview, a lie detector test, a near miss on the highway, and they'll sweat even if the room is cold. This comes from a different set of glands called apocrine glands, concentrated in your armpits and groin, tied directly to your emotional state, not your temperature. This is older than language, a fear sweat, a stress sweat that predates our ability to explain why we're afraid, which means, in a very real sense, your skin has been keeping an emotional record of your life that your conscious mind never had to process. Every panic, every close call, every moment your nervous system decided you might be in danger, it left through the same pores that once let your ancestors chase prey across a continent no other predator could survive. You carry both of those systems on you right now. The one built for endurance, the one built for fear. And most days, you never think about either. So tonight, when you feel a bead of sweat form on your skin for no reason you can name, remember what it actually is. It's not weakness. It's not just heat. It's 2 million years of a body that refused to stop moving, still running the same program, still trying to keep you alive, one drop at a time.